Hello and welcome to a new episode of FI News Review. I'm your host, Susan Choi. This week we are focusing on the no alcohol trend. Recent studies have shown that an increasing number of young adults are choosing not to drink alcoholic beverages. According to a 2023 Mintel report, nearly 40% of young adults between ages 16 and 24 have moderated their alcohol intake within the last year. So what's behind this trend and what impact could it have on the beverage industry? I'd like to bring on Ivonne Kinser to the show to investigate further. She's the CEO of Vantage Innovation Lab. Ivonne, welcome to the show.
Hi, Susan. Thank you for having me.
All right, so Ivonne, let's get into it. Tell us about this so-called 𝗟𝗶𝗱𝗲 generation. What have been your findings based on your research, and what are your insights?
Yeah, it's super interesting because everything started when I was writing an article for the Food Institute, and we saw this CosMc shop opening in Dallas, and it was the same market. And we saw that huge buzz around that. So I just went there and just to test it and to see what was the buzz about. And it was a whole adventure. I got there and there was like this huge line of cars. I think that I waited like 20 minutes just to be directed to park, and then you have to do another line. So it was very, very difficult just to get there. So when I got there, not knowing what to expect, I was have building anticipation through the waiting and through the process. And when I got there, I saw that it was a very small place with kind of what it seems like a drive-through machine, but inside the location, still a long line and a few drinks. So I was really puzzled, and I came out of there, and a few sandwiches. So I came, making this long story short, but I came out of there thinking, I cannot write about this. What am I going to write about this? There's nothing to write about it. And then after reflecting for a couple of days and just scratching my head, trying to understand, I realized that there has to be something. I mean, it's McDonald's, and I'm sure they know what they are doing, but at this point, nobody was talking about the strategy. And I started researching, and I came across this incredible new trend that is the sober curious. I came across the sober curious. It's a big trend. I was just not aware of that, and started like digging and double clicking and learning more about it. And it took me through a very interesting path of learning and discovering. And is what you just mentioned, is the 𝗟𝗶𝗱𝗲 generation. Is a movement, is a trend that is, I think, here to stay based on what we have seen. Like I say, it started with the sober curious movement. It came from a book written by Robbie Warrington in 2018, and it's not about stop drinking alcohol completely. The movement is just driving consumers, and especially the younger generations, to be more mindful about the drinks, the alcoholic drinks they consume, and understanding the reasons behind why are they consuming alcohol, and what is the impact of the alcohol in their health. And this grew that if you go to Instagram and look for sober curious, you're gonna have find hundreds of pages of these profiles that supporting and living this movement.
What kinds of impacts are you seeing, immediate impacts are you seeing in the beverage industry, Ivonne, as a result of this, this kind of trend? What innovations are you seeing coming down the pipeline?
Well, there's so much going on from this movement. We have, for example, companies like Athletic Brewing that was created in 2018 and is already holding 19% of the market share, and dollar share growth 62%. It's the 10th largest U.S. craft brewery, and it's a non-alcoholic brewery. So we're seeing brands like 𝗟𝗶𝗱𝗲, beautiful story behind. The founder was coming out of one of these periods of dry, and he went with some friends to a brewery, and he had that aha moment and discovered that what he missed was not actually the alcohol, but the experience that comes with it, sharing with friends and sharing the experience and the moment with friends. And then that's how he decided, what if we brew tea? And they came up with an incredible product, an incredible portfolio of drink beverage that taste exactly like brew beer, but are healthy. And again, several other companies in this space with huge opportunities ahead. Is the fastest growing category right now, even beyond the whole beverage category, and even beyond categories, fast growing categories like tequila, for example, right behind ready to drink cocktails. The non-alc category as a whole has increased twice in 3 years. It's one of the faster growing categories, like we say, with 38% 4-year compound annual growth, which is amazing. But what is more interesting even is that growth is not taking market from the alcoholic beverages, is incremental, which was, it had been even very, very surprising for the industry. 2 out of 3 points of growth within the category are coming from the non-alc beverages.
And, looking further down the road, what sort of implications do you think this has on the beverage industry, looking longer term? Do you think we're going to see an eventual disappearance of wine, beer, liquor, cocktails altogether? What do you think, Ivonne?
Well, no, because that's the interesting part, that even what apparently seems like there was replacing the alcoholic beverage is really not. When there have been plenty of research done, and qualitative and quantitative, but if you see some of the qualitative done, especially by numerator, you see that consumers are not completely replacing the product. Actually, they have seen in the same basket alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And again, when you heard from the consumers, what they say is they are using it in different moments. For example, we heard a lot that they are using it more during the week, but they are still consuming their alcoholic drinks in the weekend, or they are alternating in one specific occasion where they have an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic, not to eliminate the consumption of alcoholic, but to moderate the consumption. So again, it's just a very, very interesting dynamic, because you see a new category emerging that is not necessarily replacing the traditional, but expanding the category as a whole. So if the growth trend continues as it goes, the trajectory that is projected to grow at 500 million next year, which is huge growth. So if anything, it's just, like I say, expanding the category, but not shrinking the alcoholic, but also expanding the category as a whole.
Certainly interesting. We'll continue to look at this trend. Ivonne Kinser, CEO of Vantage Innovation Lab. Ivonne, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
And you can check out more of our great content by clicking on this playlist. Till next time, I'm Susan Choi. Take care.